let's have a little lesson on this piece by Carulli. You might have this in another book, but you can watch the video for free, and I'm going to talk a little bit about right-hand fingering and just approaching new pieces such as this one. If you do need the music, this is part of my Volume 2 Easy Classical Guitar Collection, so there's a link for that under the video. This piece has a fairly strong melody, so the first thing we'll do is we'll just play that melody on its own. It's all the stems up, it's in the uppermost voice. Lots of non-chord tones that resolve quite often, like those little resolutions that happen. So this piece lends itself very nicely to having some accents, stronger than normal accents. So this is all pretty calm through here. But here, it's kind of a suspension across the bar. So that kind of like tension followed by resolution is something you'll want to aim for in the piece. But practice that melody on its own until you have a clear idea of what it feels like and what it sounds like and the way that you're going to shape the line and make it legato and all those good things. So practicing the melody on its own, always a good idea. Besides that, this piece does have a lot of like just basic chord shapes that you want to know. So you could go through and just kind of play some of the chord shapes. It's in 6/8 time. We'll talk about the rhythm in a second, but pretty much on every first beat and fourth beat, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on 1 and 4, those are the basic chords. So kind of playing it through like that can be helpful. Just to make sure that your left hand knows all the shapes that it needs to know. So practice the melody, practice the chord shapes, and then we just put it all together. Let's just talk quickly about the rhythm and then some right hand fingering, and then we'll just do a quick walkthrough of the piece. The right hand fingering, you're trying to alternate as much as possible, but because of all the 3-note chords, you're going to repeat fingers on occasions. I try to play a lot of the chords with P, I, M as much as possible, sometimes even repeating fingers to do so. But I'll start with A, that way I am is available to play the chord, and then A again, I am to play the chord, A again, but then A, M, P, I. So you can see like I'm basically alternating as much as possible. But then later in the bar, in like bar 3, I just repeat I am the whole time because you can't really alternate. There'll always be repeated fingers there, so it's okay to do repeated fingers in that section. And the piece is not so fast that it's impossible to do that. And to some extent, when you have those block chords, it's going to sound like that, relatively heavy anyway. But whenever you have that melodic material, kind of just like running scale lines or running melody, try to alternate your fingers. In terms of the pulse, it's 6/8 time, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a strong beat on 1 and 4. Conductors often conduct 6/8 time in 2, right? 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your sense of the pulse will just be 2 beats per bar, even though there's 6 little beats. So when you're going through that, you could just feel it in 2, right? If I counted 2 instead of, well, let me first count with 6. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But really, it's much better to just feel it in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, it's just strong, medium strong, strong, medium strong. Okay, let's do a walkthrough of the piece, so I'll just point out a couple of little things. So we've already talked about the opening, so I'll just go through that. I like to accent that, get some tension. So that fingering there, just, it's a little bit odd, but do 3, 4 so that 3 can stay on E, and that 1 and 2 is available for that chord, and then you just jump out of it. Then you have to leap up, and you could do this in other ways, but like you could do it in third position, but really it's better to just maybe jump down, get it done. If you find that fourth finger strange there, just make sure that your hand position isn't like this. Get this knuckle around so that this finger is there. See, when I push the knuckle away, see my fourth finger is no longer over the C, but when I bring it back over here, it's available to play that bass note very easily. So just make sure your hand is aligned for that. There'd be too much jumping around if I didn't use my fourth finger there. I would have to jump my finger over. It's easier to just slide up sometimes. So we play that C sharp with the fourth finger, and then just slide it up. And that's one of the places where I also just do P-I-M on both chords. And then try to alternate on the next ones. But whenever I have those chords, I just repeat fingers. Fourth finger slides up. And repeats. So in this bar, switch to 3 there. It's really tempting to keep 4 down, but let's keep 4 available for the next note because it's a little bit of a jump. So 1, 3, that way 4 can reach out. And then 3, 1, 4, that way 3, 2, 1 are available for the C chord. That's the one place in the piece where you have to pay attention to that left-hand fingering. Do a little rit there, I think, to break up the piece, and then it repeats. This is all the same. It's all the same there. I think you'll find the piece very stable, but you don't want it to be too chunky. It should be like, there should be a strong pulse, but that doesn't mean that you want it to all, come out really in a jagged kind of way. You want to make sure it's smooth, but in the context of a pulse and then some accents on certain chords. So lots of things to think about in this piece and to practice, but nevertheless a pretty straightforward piece and very secure in terms of fingering. So I hope you enjoy it, and I don't think you'll find it too tricky.